This is my 22nd year.
22nd year. And what have you noticed as far as changes during those years since you first came here?
Well, I think the main change is that we have a tradition now that we didn't have 22 years ago. The kids, the students, singers, are much the same type of individual that we had then. I just think there's much more pride in the group. We've been able to expand our program. We do more singing. We cover more material than we did in the early years that I was here. And that's about it. You know, the kids are the same, basically the same. Midwestern, good work ethic type people.
Oh, this is actually my fourth. I was in there my freshman year also.
Okay. And what is it about choir that makes you want to keep coming back after all these years?
I think choir offers that diversity. You have a lot of different classes, you know, in whatever curriculum you're in. But choir, you get to go and you perform and you're making music. It's not necessarily that you have homework. It's kind of a mental release and a time when you can relax, and yet you're still, you know, being very productive, but you're also being able to do something besides just your typical scholastic work.
I enjoyed Mr. Walker. I really did. The sense of family that the choir had. Everybody got along well together. There were the little cliques within the choir, but all in all, I think as a group, everyone got along together pretty well.
Well, I guess I heard about the choir when I was in high school, and I knew even then how good of a choir it was. So I really wanted to be in it when I first heard about it. And then when I came up here, I didn't really think about whether I could get into it or not. I didn't think I really could. And then I heard they were looking for people. I thought, well, I'll go in and try out. And I did. Went into his office. He said, great, you know, being chorale for a semester, and then we'll move you up into choir. So, you know, that was really exciting.
I look forward to doing different music. I find it very interesting for me to keep putting things together. Teaching. The rehearsals are the most fun for me. The performances are secondary for me. I enjoy seeing the choir grow. It's a challenge to see how close to perfection we can come. And I enjoy the people. I enjoy being with the people in the choir.
For a high school senior who wants to come here?
To come up here and go to choir. Sing as much as you can in as many different varieties as you can. And think technically. Don't just sing for music's sake. There's a lot of education and intelligence that goes into the writing of every piece. And if you don't use your mind when you're singing, you're not exploring the whole aspect of the music. You are singing notes, but you're not singing music. And so expose yourself to jazz, to blues, to classical music. That's a good education too, just for the many varieties that we do get to sing, because we cover a lot of those different areas.
Be ready for an intense situation. Be ready for something where you have to work as hard as you can all the time. And there's no messing around. We get down to business, and we come up with a good product when you're done. But just be ready to, you know, do what you're meant to do there. And you'll come out with something you can really be proud of when you're done.
Takes a good work ethic, takes a good voice, a desire to sing, people that like to sing. I think the work ethic is very important. The people in choir, I think, almost to a person, want to excel at what they're doing. As you can tell by the many leaders that are in the choir, they're an outstanding group of people in there, and they have been throughout the years. I think that's the most important thing, the people, and the music then secondly. Their attitude toward wanting to achieve, and they do. They come because they don't have to be there. You know, they come because they want to be there and put up with all the stuff that I put out. You know, they're very tolerant, actually. But really, the attitude and the voice and the musicality. But if they sing well and the attitude's good, generally it seems like the musicality is there, and I don't have to worry about that as much.
Okay, and can you tell me about the tours the choir takes?
Well, the choir, in the early years, we toured just in Kansas into a lot of the various schools in the state. And at about, it's been about 12, 13 years ago now, the kids decided it might be fun to go to Europe. And so we did. And we went on a 21, 22-day tour during the winter, between semesters in the winter, and hit 7 different countries, Eastern Bloc as well as Western European countries. Killed ourselves off physically. They really hung in there beautifully and did a very successful tour, and that was the first. And then we set it back. We didn't do it for a while, and then there was an interest that came again to go. We were invited to go to the Soviet Union and Poland, and we did. And then since then, we've gone every 2 years. There seems to be more interest in travel, and there's always been an attitude of wanting to travel, or enough in the choir that wants to, that makes it possible for the choir to. If we didn't have enough that would want to make a commitment to go, we wouldn't do it.
The trips are wonderful. They're a chance to make the best friends, some friends you'll keep for the rest of your life. I'm taking out a loan so that I can go to Australia because I think it's one of the best educational experiences a person could ever have. I went to Europe 2 years ago. It was so educational walking into a different country, trying to relate with different customs. People use different money in a different language that you didn't know, and trying to adapt and adjust. And I became a lot more world-oriented. Here in the United States, it's so easy for us. We can rely on ourselves. Where over there, the countries are so interdependent that they have to rely on one another. And I've become a lot more world-conscious. I think the trips are a very educational experience, along with being a lot of fun.
We had a fantastic time. It was the summer before last, going to Switzerland. And I know that not only did I have fun with the choir, because my gosh, when you travel with that many people and you're just seeing so many new sights, I can remember trying to purchase something around 30 train tickets in French. I have limited, French speaking ability for all the choir members to go up on the top of a mountain, and we'd sing away in these, and it was a train, and people just so enjoyed watching these crazy Americans sing on the top of the Alps, having a great time, and eating, cheese, drinking wine, and just having a wonderful time, and also doing the concerts in the cathedrals and places, where you really felt like it was a sacred place to present your music. And I know that 3 choir members and myself went on and traveled after the rest of the choir went back to the United States. And the 4 of us, definitely all 4 of us are from, totally different places than Kansas, and met through choir. And we had such a wonderful time hopping around with backpacks on the Eurail, seeing the different sites and countries throughout Europe, and spent 2 more weeks over there. And those are memories that you just will never, replace and will never forget. And I wouldn't have had them if it hadn't have been for the fact that I was in choir and I met, these friends through choir and was able to share that time with them.
Out here we had to take a bus to bring it down to the train station. There was a shuttle bus between here and the city of Lausanne, but it all depends where you wanted to go, so that was very bad. So this will be much nicer.
is next to the breakfast room where we ate this morning. Please check it every morning. There will be changes. Tomorrow morning, breakfast is 7:30 to 8:30. Be dressed for church at that time. There will be rehearsal at 9:30, starting at 9:30.
Most likely to set her hair on fire at the kitchen.
Most likely to get single beds on their honeymoon, Kelly and Robert.
This summer we will be heading to Australia and Hawaii for a few days. I'm totally excited about it. I cannot wait to go. In fact, I feel like my whole family is going to. The fact that my mother and my great aunt are going as chaperones, so we'll all be there together.
I'm really excited about that. I've never been out of the country before. It was a little expensive, but it's really something I really want to do, because everyone that I've talked to that's been on one of these trips say that it's really something that you'll learn a lot about, you know, and it's something really great for you to do, and you should really do. I've had no one tell me that I shouldn't do it, and everyone tell me that I should. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, what would you like to see happen or see change in the future of the choir?
I'd like to see the choir have an adequate budget. We struggle for money continually. We're terribly under budgeted. As much good as the choir does for the university and in recruitment and also to the cultural life of the university, I think it's a tragedy, and it's sad that the choir is not funded any better than it is. We have no money really to travel in the state anymore. There's a pittance given to the department for all the groups to travel with, which isn't enough for one group to make one short trip. And I think that's sad. We don't have enough money to buy equipment that we need. We currently need a set of risers. We can't find money to buy a set of risers for the choir. And that's to me totally wrong. but really a budget, adequate budget to travel and purchase wardrobe for the kids. The kids all buy their own gowns and tuxes, and everything they do almost is paid for by themselves. And they represent the university, and they go out and represent it in a major fashion. And the choir is known with a very positive reputation internationally, nationally. And I think the kids deserve better than that. If you have budget, we can do all kinds of things. And there are many other departments on the campus that are in the same straits. So it's not just, I'm not crying just for our needs. There are a lot of needs, and education is I think, kind of a whipping boy at times. But it's sad when the kids spend so much time, and they are a first-rate group.
And what do you think you'll miss the most when you finally graduate?
I guess all the friends I've made in there. It's, you know, I feel like I have like 50, 60, 70 friends in there, and people I didn't expect to meet, but I did, and I'll probably miss them the most.
I miss the singing. I really do. I haven't really been too involved in singing since then. I've sung for a couple of weddings, but the singing is what I miss the most.
I think that's kind of a twofold question, because there are two things I think I'll miss. Initially, I'll miss the people. I mean, the choir members grow very close to each other. You know, we see each other every day, and you're also, you know, producing an art form together, and that really, I think, bonds people. So I'll miss, you know, my friends that I've made, and our conductor, Rod Walker, who's, you know, obviously been there all 4 years that I've been there. And then secondly, I'll miss the musical opportunity, because you're never sure when you know, relocate for a job, hopefully, wherever you are, if you're going to have that opportunity to be in a choral situation and be able to use, you know, your vocal talent again. And so you just hope that somewhere down the road you'll be able to get into a group that, you know, will never be quite the same, but sometime that you can use your vocal talent again.
I'm thankful for the kids that are in the choir. I look forward to choir every day. And I think when you have the opportunity, like I do, to sit in front of them and watch them and see how they work and watch their faces when we do things, when we achieve things, to help shape the discipline of a rehearsal in their minds so they learn what it is, and help to try to develop a work ethic and to watch them plug away at it. I think that's one of the nicest things. It's really the reward for teaching. Because I just wish everyone could see the type of person that's in that organization, because they're special people. They just, I'm very grateful. I think that's what I would want to say, is I'm grateful for them. And I'm glad that they chose to come here to sing.
What songs or pieces stick out the most you've done in this 3 years?
Songs and pieces. The pieces that we always do for the serenade concert, just because they're popular or a little more popular, and from some of the musicals that I think are interesting. I like a lot of the foreign pieces that we do, the harder works, Bach, Beethoven. I like a lot of classical stuff. I'm not so much into secular. I like it when we get a chance to do foreign languages and challenge ourselves. I don't like singing just the regular, go through it 2 or 3 times and be able to sing it.
I think my favorite performances that we do are always the serenade concert, just because you're closer to your audience. It's more of a dinner theater arrangement, and we do maybe not as what they quote serious music, pulling out music from whether it's musicals or other fun works that, you know, it's not as musically difficult for us, but yet we have so much fun relaying it to the audience. You're usually familiar with the pieces. We did a rendition once of West Side Story with a percussion ensemble for one of our serenade concerts. It was a very, very powerful piece, and with the audience already knowing the music, we were able to, you know, pull off quite a performance. And it's always exciting to have something that, you know, is a showy type piece that you have as much fun as the audience does, and you can see them.
wish I could say more because there was a lot of good music we sang. The one song that sticks out the most is Witness. It's probably because we went over that almost every semester I was there. There were a few times we left it out, but that was a favorite song of the choir, I think, and one of my favorites too.